Hello everyone, welcome to PST channel. Game story, movie style, for your busy days. I've been thinking about how nobody's made a good complete recap story of this most renounced JP MMO in history yet. The game's story, unfolding over nearly a decade for just the first act, likely caused many story channel creators to move on. This leaves us dedicated players to enshrine the narrative in story summary and recap, in easy to navigate size, I hope. This way, anyone seeking the story won't have to search through endless live streams. Let's make this a successful project for Warriors of Light, preserving the game's story in manageable records. In this episode, I'll begin recounting the Warrior of Light's adventures in Final Fantasy XIV, from patch 1.0 through A Realm Reborn. I'll keep it detailed yet simple for newcomers and those wanting a refresher after finishing the game. But first, let's establish the main setting. Welcome to Eorzea, a key geopolitical region in Hydaelyn and the game's primary setting. Eorzea comprises 4 major city-states. Granada, a forest nation in the Black Shroud, known for forestry, agriculture, carpentry, and leatherworking. Alda, the prominent trading hub ruled by the Sultanate in the Thanlen Desert. Limsa Lominsa, a marine thalassocracy led by the Admiral's ruling party. And Ishgard, an Isolist nation governed by the Archbishop of the Ishgardian Orthodox Church. Beyond these lies the Garlean Empire on another continent. The Garleans, a non-magical race, were ostracized, driven from their home, and forced north to the harsh Isambard region. There, they formed the Republic of Garlemald. Their engineering prowess and a brilliant leader led to the discovery of Krulium, an element powering their magitech. This enabled the Garleans to forge an empire, conquering nations under the guise of eliminating primal summoning and portraying other races as barbarians. Now, let's recap the Final Fantasy XIV 1.0 story, as that version is no longer playable. Grab a snack, and let's dive into the storyline. The story starts with the player character as an adventurer in one of Eorzea's 3 main city-states. These adventurers possess the Echo, granting them visions of the past and marking them as chosen by the world's goddess. They initially face 2 major conflicts. Internal strife caused by the Garlean Empire, led by Ligustus Gaius Van Balzar, and beastmen gathering crystals to summon primals. However, a greater threat emerges through Sherlian scholar Louise Leveler. Another Garlean Ligustus, Nail von Darnus, employs arcane magic and advanced technology to bring Dalamud, the planet's second moon, down to eradicate the beastmen and primals, whom the Garleans deem dangerous pagans. With the help of Garlean defector, Sinnan Garlon, the adventurers learn Nail has established a beacon for summoning Dalamud within the newly built Castrum Novum. Despite individual nations' attempt to breach the fortress, they were repeatedly repelled. Recognizing the need for unity, their leaders formed the Azorian Alliance. United and supported by adventurers, the nations assault Castrum Novum, successfully destroying the beacon. However, Nail, obsessed, transforms into a second beacon. Though defeated, Dalamud has already descended too far. In a final effort, Louiswa proposes summoning the 12, Eorzea's guardian deities, to restore Dalamud's orbit. The adventurers pray at sacred altars before joining the Azorian Alliance against Nail's forces at Cartanu Flats, Dalamud's predicted impact site. During the battle, Dalamud shatters, revealing itself as a prison for the elder primal Bahamut. Enraged by his long confinement, Bahamut unleashes devastation upon Eorzea. The summoning of the 12 fails, and Louisver sacrifices himself, using his remaining power to send the adventurers into a time rift. This removes them from time's flow, allowing their return when Eorzea heals. This concludes the Final Fantasy XIV 1.0 storyline. It's a shame, as the 1.0 story had significant potential. However, due to negative reception, Square Enix shut down the servers, tasking a new development team to rebuild the game, resulting in Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn.
Must be You're finally awake.
5 years after Dolomud's fall, the player character, teleported by Luiver, arrives in the Thanalan Desert. The adventurer journeys to Alda by chocobo carriage. En route, the Brass Blades, mercenaries maintaining order in the Sultanate, stop the carriage for inspection. They accuse the owner of smuggling Somnus. But an Almaja attack allows the carriage to proceed without further issue, leaving the Brass Blades to deal with the attack. After this minor delay, the adventurer reaches Alda and is instructed to register with the local Adventurers Guild, led by Momodi Modi, proprietorist of the Quicksand. Learning 5 years have passed since the Battle of Cardanu, the adventurer decides to learn the basics of adventuring, such as attuning the Aetherite, which is used for teleportation, registering the class guild, and learning the city under the Sultanate before seeking work at Alda Dispatch Yard. Upon arriving at the yard, the adventurer quickly discovers the calamity devastated Thanalan, overwhelming Alda with refugees. Beyond the rail lines, many areas remain isolated and desperately need aid. To address this, Papa Shan enlists the adventurer's help. While searching for a missing noble girl near Sultan Tree, the adventurer is ambushed by Voidsent. Just as things become dire, a mysterious tattooed man named Thancred appears, helping them defeat the creatures and save Lady Lyrira. However, as the danger subsides, the adventurer finds a crystal near the battle site. Touching it, they lose consciousness, overwhelmed by a vision of the crystal whispering, "Hear, feel, think." Thancred witnesses this with astonishment and parts ways with the adventurer. Papa Shan thanks the adventurer for rescuing Lyrira, who seems connected to the Sultana, before assigning them tasks across central Thanlan. Soon, the adventurer hears of a merchant named Winestan, seeking strong adventurers to mine resources for the city's reconstruction. Seizing the opportunity, the adventurer takes the job. But events take a dark turn when Brass Blades, on Lord Laredo's orders, trap Winestan. As the adventurer intervenes, a masked mage summons a clay golem. A fierce battle ensues, and the adventurer defeats the creature. Thancred arrives shortly after, intrigued by the adventurer's strength. Realizing his life is in danger, Winestan goes into hiding, urging the adventurer to seek Momodi's help in Alden. Momodi reassures the adventurer, suggesting they take a job in Horizon, a bustling trade center with constant work. After some courier tasks, the adventurer meets Brass Blade Fufu Lupa, who sends them to Lost Hope. From there, they travel to Crescent Cove, overhearing rumors of Fufu Lupa's fellow Brass Blades collaborating with bandits. The adventurer and Fufu Lupa confront the Horizon garrison captain, defeat him, and find a letter addressed to a Sultan Sworn named Owine. The adventurer takes the letter to Momodi, who reveals the Sultana's crown has been stolen, a damaging scandal. She believes the letter is a ransom note for Owine, who guarded the crown. Owine, going against his comrades, agrees to the demands, and the adventurer accompanies him to the Unholy Air, where bandits plan to betray them. Just as danger strikes, a group of Sultan Sworn, led by former Captain Papa Shan, arrives and defeats the bandits. However, after Papa Shan's group leaves, the masked mage reappears, attempting to assassinate the adventurer by summoning a gargoyle. With Thancred's aid, they defeat it, revealing the mage to be an Ascian. Back in Alda, the adventurer is hailed as a hero. Flame General Raubon hosts a grand banquet in their honor, with Sultana Namo al Namo present. During the banquet, Thancred and Raubon discuss the Warriors of Light, those who fought the Garlean Empire 5 years prior, but vanished at their Bahamut's release.
The 12. Tell me true. Have you been troubled by strange dreams of late? Visions of the crystal? Mayhap you put them down to an excess of ether?
This triggers another vision for the adventurer, showing the Battle of Cardanu from their perspective of the Grand Company leaders. In this vision, an Ascian is seen observing from a distant plateau as Bahamut's forces overwhelm them. Awakening, Raubon asks the adventurer to serve as his personal envoy to Limsa, Limonsa, and Granada to arrange a remembrance ceremony for those lost in the Battle of Cardanu. After relaying the news, Admiral Merowe Blofinswin of Limsa and Limonsa and Elder Seed Seer Khan and Sana of Granada both agree. Returning to Momodi, she directs the adventurer to her colleague, Bataran, who has a request to further involve them in the world. Bataran and Raynor enlist the adventurer to investigate a suspicious group camped in Sastasha Sigrat, suspecting them to be Serpent Reaver pirates allied with the Sahagin. The adventurer and their party enter the cave, battling through to defeat Den the Orcatooth, the Sahagin responsible for the alliance. Pleased, Bataron sends the adventurer to Granada to meet Mother Moyun, who needs help with the Lambs of Dulmud, a cult operating in the Tim Tara Deepcroft. There, the adventurer's party discovers the cultist resurrected Galvant the Dominator's vengeful spirit, but easily vanquish it. Next, the adventurer goes to Alda, where Momodi, her painted Mesa, sends them to the Copperbell mines to quell a Hecaton Shire revolt. Deep within, the adventurer's party faces and defeats Gygus the Great, ending the uprising. Returning to Alda, the adventurer witnesses thugs attacking a woman for a corrupt merchant. Stepping in to rescue her, the adventurer is soon approached by a familiar ally from their starting city-state. They invite the adventurer to join the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, a group dedicated to solving Eorzea's greatest threats. Following this, the adventurer travels to the Waking Sands, meeting Minfilla and Tataru. Minfilla explains the Scion's mission, protecting Eorzea from the Primals, powerful godlike beings summoned by beast tribes in crises. She reveals the adventurer's visions of Hydaelyn and the Battle of Cardanu were granted by the Echo, a rare power the Scions also possess. Reports then surfaced about a Camp Drybone robbery and abduction. The Scions suspected the Almaja, possibly planning to summon their primal, Ifrit. Thancred joined the adventurer to investigate. With Isambard's help, they found evidence that the Almaja weren't alone, learning of a merchant, Ungust, aiding them from within. Assisted by Sister Orsen, Thancred and the adventurer disguised themselves as paupers, bidding Ungust to reveal his true intentions. Ungust, posing as a priest offering alms, tried to convert them but was caught in his own trap. The Scions captured him, forcing him to be a double agent against the Almaja. Concerned about the danger to the adventurer from further Almaja investigation, Minfilla sends him to Mutmix Bollypots, a goblin skilled in enhancing equipment with materia. With Mutamix's aid, the adventurers strengthened their gear before ambushing the Almaja with Ungust and the Immortal Flames. However, Ungust had secretly been informing the Beast Tribe about the trap. Consequently, the Immortal Flames were overwhelmed and the adventurer was captured. The Almaja summoned their god, Ifrit, intending to sacrifice their prisoners. But the adventurer, thanks to the Echo, resisted being tempered or enslaved by Ifrit's influence. In a fierce battle, they slew the Lord of the Inferno. After slaying the Lord of the Inferno, the adventurer received the Crystal, a highly concentrated form of Aether used for primal summoning via prayer. This crystal also enhanced the Blessing of Light, manifesting his visions from Hydaelyn. This incredible victory brought the adventurer widespread recognition, drawing the attention of Eorzea's grand companies, all eager to recruit them. Undecided, the adventurer attended the remembrance ceremonies honoring the Battle of Cardanu. There, they meet the Elizin twins, Alphanod and Elise, who criticized the Grand Company leaders Merylweb, Connie Senna, and Raban for their handling of the battle, especially the sacrifices of the Warriors of Light and Luiver. Despite their criticisms, the leaders pledged to strengthen Eorzea's unity against the growing Primal and Garlean threats. The adventurer ultimately joined a Grand Company. Soon after, a Garlean attack caused an airship to crash within their state's territory. Joining forces with the Grand Company, the adventurer helped rescue the surviving engineers, Biggs and Wedge. It was revealed that Sin Nan Garlon, Biggs and Wedge's former employer missing since the Calamity, designed the downed airship. Troubled by the Empire's border violation, the adventurer reported their findings to Minfilla. Minfilla then explained a growing concern in Grenadia. The Sylphs might be summoning their primal, Rema, threatening an already fragile peace. With Grenadia already in conflict with the Azal, another hostile beast tribe was at major risk. To prevent this, the adventurer joined the Scion Zeta and Papayomo on a mission to establish peace between the Sylphs and Grenadia. After meeting with Rolf Hawthorne, an ex-adventurer and expert on Sylph etiquette, the Scions arrive in Little Solace, the Sylph community closest to Grenadia. Though Camuxio was initially suspicious of their intentions, the adventurer is able to endear the Sylphs by defeating Garlean forces who are camped outside Little Solace, and by rescuing Claxio, who has been captured by the Tempered Sylphs. Camuxio reveals that Sylph Elder, Phrixio, has gone missing, and the Scions of Grenadia agree to arrange a search party. Booskaren, a barkeeper who pays attention to such affairs, discovers Garlean forces patrolling the Black Shroud, and after apprehending the twin adder trader providing intelligence for them, Laurentius, reveals that Phrixio, who is fleeing from the Garlean soldiers, has become trapped in the 1,000 Maws of Toto Rock. Deep inside, the adventurers' party encounters Lahabrea, who summons a Bane Mite to test their strength. However, the Bane Mite is slain, Lahabrea is freed, and Frixio is rescued. Frixio explains that in the Sylph lands, a faction of Sylphs summoned Rama to protect themselves from the Garlean invasion. However, Rama, driven by the fanatic desire to protect his people's homeland, began tempering all the Sylphs, forcing those that resisted to flee to Little Solace. However, Rama has bade his slaves not to attack their Gennadians unless they invade the Sylph lands, and neither the tempered Sylphs nor the refugees of Little Solace have any interest in attempting to summon him again. Having ensured peace between the Grenadians and the Sylphs, the Scions return to the Waking Sands with a Sylvian diplomat, Eorzea. Having prevented the summonings of both Ifrit and Rama, the Scions focus on Lahabrea and the Ascians' return. After an unsuccessful search to Highbridge, the adventurer traveled to Little Ala Mahigo, home to Ala Mahigan, refugees who fled the Garleans. The refugees' leader, Gundobald, was initially suspicious of the Scions. His attitude changed when it was revealed that the younger refugees were meeting with a masked mage, learning forbidden rituals to summon a Primal to reclaim their homeland. Gundobald and the adventurer rushed to the Almaja encampment, arriving just in time to witness a violent clash between the Beast Tribe and the desperate youth. Both sides suffered heavy losses. Afterward, Gundobald firmly opposed the Primal summoning, fearing the ensuing destruction. Troubled by the Lahabrea's increasing influence, Minfla dispatched the adventurer to Full Guard Float. There, a man named Mendroid claimed to have seen a masked mage. Following the mage's arrival, young women vanished, their bodies taken by floating eyes to Hawk Manor. Inside, they were being used in a dark ritual to restore Lady Amandine, a noble woman scarred by the calamity. The adventurer and their party infiltrated the manor, slew Amandine, and found proof of Assassian manipulation. Recognizing the growing threat, Minfla urged all of Eorzea's nations to strengthen the defenses against Lahabrea. However, the investigation was soon interrupted when the Kobold tribe successfully summoned Titan, preparing to unleash him on Limsa Lominsa. Years prior, Titan was defeated by the now disbanded Company of Heroes. To find a way to combat the Primal again, the Scions tracked down Weesekit, a former company member in Costa del Sol. Despite the adventurers' impressive victory over Ifrit, Y'shtola couldn't convince Weesekit of their ability to defeat Titan. Instead, Weesekit tested the adventurer with increasingly dangerous tasks, all seemingly related to gathering ingredients for an extravagant banquet hosted by his master, the wealthy Gegaruju of Costa del Sol. Having proving their worth through Weesekit's trials, the adventurer gained access to Titan's lair with Riel's help. Alongside their party, they confronted and slew Titan. However, Y'shtola noticed Lahabrea silently observing the battle. While she stayed in Limsa Lominsa to investigate, the adventurer returned to the Waking Sands, only to find it devastated, with fallen Scions. A dying Eorzea revealed the Garleans had raided, searching for Ifrit's lair, and had taken Minfla and the other leaders hostage. With her last breath, Eorzea relayed Minfla's final order. The adventurer must seek refuge at the Church of St. Adama Landama. At the church, the adventurer met Marcus, a troubled veteran of the Battle of Cardanu. As the fallen Scions were laid to rest, Alphanot arrived, determined to rebuild the Scions. He criticized the city-states for failing to defend against the Beast Tribes, especially with the Azal now summoning Garuda, insisting that only the Scions could truly protect Eorzea. To aid their cause, Alphanot revealed Marcus's true identity, Sid Non Garland, the legendary airship engineer who had defected to the Alliance. Sid had built the Enterprise, which mysteriously vanished over Korathos before the Battle of Cardanu. Together, Sid, Alphanot, and the adventurer resolved to recover the Enterprise, rescue the captured Scions, and stop Garuda's rampage.
They need my airship. They need me.
Reaching Korathos, they faced resistance from the Ishgardian nobility, preoccupied with their war against the Dravian horde and indifferent to Eorzea's struggles. However, after saving several Ishgardian soldiers and exposing a false inquisitor named Gulaim, the adventurer earned Lord Drilleman's trust. In return, he granted them access to Stone Vigil, where the Enterprise was discovered. The fortress, however, was overrun by dragons, and the adventurer had to fight through relentless Dravian forces. Deep inside, they faced and defeated the powerful dragon Iskabine, awakened by Lahabrea. With the Enterprise reclaimed, a new challenge arose. The airship was damaged and needed a corrupted crystal for repairs. After failed attempts in Camp Drybone and the Isle of Umbra, the adventurer finally secured the necessary crystal by defeating a mischievous brigand named Giggity with the Sylph's help. Once operational, they aimed for Garuda. In a fierce battle, the adventurer's party confronted and overcame Garuda, though they didn't completely destroy her. Instead, she drew strength from the Zal's devotion, quickly rejuvenating. However, before she could retaliate, a mysterious force struck her down. Imperial Legustus Gaius Van Balzar then appeared, taunting Garuda while revealing his own power. To her horror, he unveiled the Ultima weapon, an ancient elegant device designed to absorb primal energy. In a display of dominance, the Ultima weapon effortlessly consumed Garuda's essence. Seizing the moment, the captured kobolds and Almaja summoned Titan and Ifrit for revenge. But it was futile. Gaius unleashed the Ultima weapon's full power, devouring the two primals just as easy, leaving the adventurer to face an unprecedented threat. The Enterprise crew reunited with Y'shtola at the Waking Sands, agreeing that rescuing the captured Scions from Castrum Sentry was their priority. Their search led them to Biggs and Wedge, who had hijacked an airship and escaped, seeking refuge in Korathas. In Revenant's Toll, a group encountered Galamont, an adventurer with a personal vendetta against the Empire. Willing to help, he devised a plan to infiltrate Castrum Sentry by stealing Magitech armor. With the stolen armor, the adventurer, Sid, Biggs, and Wedge infiltrated the Castrum Sentry, successfully freeing Minfila and the other Scions. During their escape, they spotted Gaius Van Balzar aboard an airship. He delivered the chilling ultimatum: Eorzea must surrender to the Empire or be annihilated by the Ultima weapon. They also uncovered a shocking truth. Thancred was possessed by Lahabrea, who had been using him to manipulate the tribe beasts. Faced with this grave threat, the Azorian Alliance leaders began drafting surrender agreements, unwilling to risk more lives in what seemed like a hopeless fight. Barrelweb even suggested Garlean control might prevent future primal summonings, a crisis Eorzea couldn't handle without the Scions. However, just as all appeared lost, Alphanod, Minfila, and Sid arrived, rallying the Alliance. With renewed determination, the leaders tore up their surrender documents and officially declared war against Garlemald. Thus, the Alliance devised a bold counteroffense, Operation Archon, aiming to isolate Castrum Meridianum, the fortress housing the Ultima weapon, before a final assault. The plan unfolded in 4 phases. First, the adventurer's party was tasked with assassinating Praefectus Rayton Sas Arvina during his inspection at Cape Westwind. His death, as a brilliant tactician, was expected to throw Castrum Occidens into chaos. Second, the Alliance would sever Castrum Meridianum's supply lines. The Maelstrom would besiege Castrum Occidens and Castrum Meridianum, while the Order of the Twin Aether, aided by the Sylphs, would attack Castrum Oriens. Third, the adventurer's team would breach Castrum Meridianum itself. The Twin Aether would destroy the railways linking the stronghold to Castrum Sentry, while the adventurers would disable the Magitech field generator protecting the Praetorium, the Ultima weapons laboratory. Finally, with the weakened fortress, the Immortal Flames would launch a full-scale assault, providing the adventurers' party the opportunity to infiltrate the Praetorium and destroy the Ultima weapon. As war loomed, the Grand Companies, the Scions, Free Companies, and even some beast tribes prepared for battle.
Eorzea, a blighted realm, riddled with false gods. Twice now it has eluded the Empire's grasp. For all the destruction it wrought, even Meteor, the great sin, failed to yield us control over it. And for this failure, the realm has sunk deeper into depravity. It is twisted beyond all reckoning, rotten nigh to the core. Yet it must be saved. Only Garlean rule can bring order to Eorzea. It falls to us to deliver the misguided masses from their ignorance.
We are of one mind, Lord Van Balzar.
When word arrived of Rayton's inspection at Cape Westwind, the adventurer launched a surprise attack. Despite Rayton's seemingly unnatural strength, they defeated him after a grueling fight. After dealing with Rayton with Cid's support, the party advanced into Castrum Meridianum, taking control of Magitech cannons against Garlean forces. They destroyed 2 field generators before firing on an aerial craft, which crashed into the third, leaving the Petrarium vulnerable. Inside, the adventurer confronted Tribunus Livia Sash Junius and defeated her in a fierce battle. Upon entering the Petrarium, the group commandeered Magitech armor, including the same one used to infiltrate Castrum Sentry, and blasted through the final defenses. In the laboratory, they confronted Tribunus Nero Tol Scavia, who believed he could surpass even Cid's genius by using the adventurer's echo-infused essence to enhance the Ultima weapon. However, after his defeat, Nero fled. Meanwhile, Alliance forces captured Castrum Ocidens and Castrum Sentry, while the Maelstrom and the Twin Ader bombarded Castrum Meridianum. Deep within the Petrarium, the adventurer faced Gaius Van Balzar. After a hard-fought battle, Gaius retreated and took control of the Ultima weapon, wielding the absorbed power of the defeated Primals. Overwhelmed, the adventurer's party struggled against the devastating force. However, Hydaelyn intervened, shielding them from the Ultima weapon's onslaught. Lahabrea, determined to break Hydaelyn's protection, unleashed Ultima, an apocalyptic spell that obliterated the Petrarium. Though weakened, the Warrior of Light fought on and finally destroyed the Ultima weapon. It was then that Lahabrea revealed his true intentions, using the chaos to bring about a great calamity, part of a grand scheme to resurrect a god. Furious at the adventurer's interference, Lahabrea struck them down easily. But just as all seemed lost, Hydaelyn granted the Warrior of Light newfound strength, allowing them to banish Lahabrea from Thancred's body. As the fortress crumbled, the adventurer escaped, leaving Gaius to seemingly perish in the explosion.
Blade of light.
the aftermath, the Azorian Alliance leaders gathered at Lake Silvertear in Mordona, declaring the dawn of the Seventh Astral Era. However, as they celebrated their hard-won victory, a distant roar echoed across the land, the cry of a newly summoned Primal, a chilling reminder that true peace had yet to be secured.
Our future united, as the warriors of light united in the champion.
Now is the time for us to rise as one, bearing all of Eorzea on our shoulders.
5 years ago, Eorzea bore witness to the end of the Sixth Astral Era. Now, the Seventh Umbral Era draws to a close, yet we come together not to glory in its end, but to mark a new beginning.
Let it be writ that on this day, by the light of the crystal, Eorzea ushered in a new era. The Seventh Astral Era is come! And thus is ours a realm reborn!
And that, dear listeners, is the end of Final Fantasy XIV 2.0, a Realm Reborn episode. Upcoming next will be Heaven's Ward episode, in which I will wrap up the missing dot between 2.1 and 2.5 story for you too. If you enjoy this video, please like and subscribe for more movie-style game stories. We cover everything, from classic RPGs like Final Fantasy to the latest mobile and MMO. Life's busy, so we keep gaming short and sweet. Get the story without the time commitment. A quarter of the time, all the fun. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon!